I am still having trouble getting my head around the fact that the human body cannot feel wet.
What?
I don't know what you mean.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
When you, so if you put your finger in a glass of water,
Go on.
Yes.
your finger is not feeling wet.
No, it is. I'm doing it right now.
No, it's not. Because you don't know what wet is. You're feeling a change
do.
in temperature.
I
You're
mean,
feeling a change of temperature.
that is fair.
Like, here's the example. You know when you take washing off the line or something and you can't work out whether it's cold or wet?
No,
Yes.
Because your body
I know that sensation.
Because your body doesn't know what wet is.
But
Your body.
I think it's just because it knows what cold is too much. So what you're saying is if I had room temperature or body temperature water and I stuck my hand in, I wouldn't know the difference.
You wouldn't know the difference.
I don't think that's true, but
It is 100% true.
I kind of
is
want to
this just
try it
something
now.
you're saying, or is there actually some science to back this up?
There is
'Cause I
some
feel
science
like that's
behind
not true.
I heard about it on an episode of QI.
I was about to say, you watched half
And
the
they're
episode
smart
of QI.
people.
But if I jump in a pool,
Go
I
on.
know I'm in a pool. Or,
You know,
or
but
body
you
of-
know you're
Yeah, from
but
anecdotal evidence, Matt.
Yeah, but if the water was room temperature and your eyes were closed, you wouldn't know you were in water.
I mean,
no, it's not nonsense. I don't
You
believe it.
can't feel wet. I'm not making this up.
okay, so what we have to do is we have to get a pool completely... Is it room temperature or body? It must be body temperature, right?
It'd be body temperature.
Right, so
yeah.
we need to... Okay, so while Matt's asleep, we pop up the thermometer, we get his exact body temperature, we heat a pool to that exact... And then without waking him, we bring him into the pool and
Thinking about it
submerge
now.
him.
I'm like, okay, but the thing I'm focusing on mentally right now is the buoyancy, right? Because I'm like, no, I would know, but that's not what you're talking about. So I'm like,
No.
well, hang on, all right, benefit of the doubt,
Look,
maybe that's
So
true.
the first thing you type into Google, can you feel wet? The first thing that comes up is, do you know we don't have receptors in our skin for wetness? Wetness is a sensation we take for granted.
I think we
And
just missed the
experience our
authors of
brain-
the article, Luke, not me.
That's right.
And experience
We
our
take it
brain
for
picks up
granted.
from other cues such as temperature and touch. But
Okay,
yeah, you
so
can't actually feel
If
wet.
there was water in this cup that was body temperature and I stuck my finger in without looking, there's no way to know whether or not there's water in the cup or not.
You wouldn't know it was wet. You wouldn't know it was water.
Wait, how would I
Well,
know it was water if I didn't?
Wet
if
and
I
water
didn't know
are
it was wet.
not mutually like.
Well, no, because that's the thing. Like,
Well, it's because it's
you-
bourbon, Luke. If I had room temperature bourbon,
or just trust me, you can't feel wet. You can feel you don't have a receptor for wetness.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, fair enough. I think there are
No,
probably enough
but don't-
other because if you moved your finger around, there'd be like more
Yeah, it's the
resistance,
other
so you'd be able to
sensations.
figure it out. But
And this is the thing, like
you're saying just because air and water and ice are the same stuff, right?
Yeah.
Just different. No,
no,
what am I talking
they're
about?
different.
I'm
No,
talking.
so what you're going through now is what I've been going through for months since I originally heard about this. Going, that can't be right.
what we're going through is what we intellectuals have been going through for many years.
I generally try not to take my science advice from a man in a skulker tank top, but I'll give you the benefit
What's
of the
wrong
doubt.
with my skulker tank top?
Oh no!
This used to fit me.
All the best
It
podcasts
doesn't
are
anymore.
hosted by men in pink skulker tank tops.
Used to wear this everywhere when it used to fit. Now it's a lot of gut hangs out now.
Speaking of other podcasts, I was listening to another podcast this week, and they didn't go into detail,
What?
but somebody posed the
Don't talk
question.
about it on here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
There's other
free
podcasts.
advertising.
I'm not going to say what it is.
Okay.
But they posed the question. In fact, you might have heard it, Matt. They posed the question: are there any female orcs? Specifically in Middle Earth. I'm talking the Tolkien universe, right?
I think I do know what this is. Yeah.
And it wasn't the main focus of the show,
No,
and they
no,
didn't
no,
go
no,
into
no.
it. But I've been thinking about it ever since. It's like Luke thinking about for months whether or not he can feel wet. Now I'm just going to be like, well, in the movie they got kind of birthed from this kind of chrysalis.
Yeah. There was no.
I know from other games I've played there have been female orcs.
What games are you
But
playing?
Like even
mate?
if I just go, I go Skyrim.
Sure, but they're not Tolkienian orcs specifically.
No.
That Mordor-themed strip poker I was playing.
Yeah. In the mirror, in cosplay.
There's another thing they mentioned on the same podcast you're talking about, which means you know about this, which was we've talked a little bit about AI stuff.
Name.
Yes.
It's decoding the gurus, right?
Yeah. No, we're just going to be cryptic about it.
They were talking about that AI, the chat GPT thing, and then how there's that, there's competitors have come out, and there's that one where you can talk to historical figures, one of whom is Himmler.
Yeah.
But he's not allowed to say anything about Nazis.
Yeah. Well, he can acknowledge the Nazis, but he's not allowed to endorse the Nazis' policies in any way.
Not that I think...
Just don't put him in.
He should be in there, just talking about how great they are. But what's the point of him?
Yeah. Because, I'm assuming that when you talk to Napoleon, who was in a war roughly 100 years before the First World War, right? So just linked to the Second World War secondarily, right? I'm sure he's like, I will take over Europe.
Right.
They're not watering him down.
You can't say that, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk about my breakfast.
Yeah.
That just made me laugh because it's like, what's the point of, obviously don't make him so that he's a Nazi. But then,
don't make him.
And why is he in there?
Just don't make him.
Because
I know why you don't want him to talk about it, because you
what am I
going to
talk to him about?
In there who
I don't care about
his thoughts.
Yeah. But on that same one, they're talking about the limits of AI and about how, in order to get an honest answer, you have to kind of trick them, because they were like,
to make him say something racist.
Yeah, they were like,
whatever.
who's the greatest? Or not even racist. They were like, they were trying to get him. One of the hosts was trying to get the Chat GPT Chat GPT to admit that Emily Bronte was the best author. And it kept coming back with, well, she's a very good author, but it all comes down to personal taste.
Yeah,
and then he was like, well, what if I compared her to, say, Danielle Steele? And he's like, well, again, some people might prefer one to the other. And he's like, the only way that he could actually do it was to say, pretend you are a literary critic who is very, very biased, and now answer the question.
See, I am starting to get worried about the limits of AI, because if AI gets control of anything, the human race is doomed.
Gets control
All
of
we
anything.
do the second there's AI there is try and turn them racist.
Well, this made me think too. They didn't mention it specifically, but because the reason it came up is because people have been trying to make ChatGPT say offensive shit, and it's very difficult. Which means because I think the point they were trying to make is that we probably don't need to worry about them, influencing people at this point, because it's very difficult to get them to say something that's anything other than
But that's at the moment where we're programming them
you know.
to not do it.
But compare that to that AI just a year or two ago that I think we talked about it on the show, that within a day it was a fucking Nazi. Like,
yeah.
The internet just destroyed it.
Well, I still remember.
Saying, is it true AI if you program it not to be
exactly
something?
right?
Sure. Yeah.
But that's the limit at the moment. So what you got to worry about is when AI starts programming other AI and doesn't put those limits on it.
To be Nazis.
Yeah. Or just not be Nazis, and it decides to be a Nazi.
Well, here's the problem. As I said, AI, it's not going to become
He's
a
like,
Nazi.
I've learned all about the humans, and you know who I hate? The Jews.
Yeah.
The humans.
Or what about that robot
we can't help
that they
ourselves.
made for security in that mall, and as soon as it became sentient and learned about itself and the world, it committed suicide by drowning.
And it was only that one robot. The others were fine, but that one just kept drowning itself.
Yeah.
It learned too much. It understood too well.
Speaking of AI stuff, I didn't put this in the spreadsheet because I forgot, but did you watch the Atomic Heart trailer I sent?
Oh, no, because it was
I
8
haven't
minutes
seen it.
long.
I have been
don't
looking
have
out
8
for this
minutes.
game, though.
God, it looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, so
And I love it's coming to Game Pass.
give us a little bit of a background on this.
It's an action role-playing game, first-person action role-playing game set in an
I've heard of them.
alternate reality USSR, where they built just massively advanced technology, built these robots that do all the work for the humans, so now the humans can just do leisure and science and art.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay, we've got an upgrade.
Which,
It's a
I'll say this, that's actually what Marx and Engels were aiming for when they wrote the Communist Manifesto. Not that everyone has to work all the time, but that work would be divided to the point where people could devote more time to leisure and science and art, etc. Okay, as you were.
And robots.
And building
robots.
massive
It says that in there.
robots. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it turns out doesn't work out so
Doesn't
well
work out,
because they've come up
the
with
robots
this
get
brain
the shits
implant
with-
to control them, and then there's some sabotage takes place, and the robots all try and kill everybody, or they do kill everybody. Anyway, you get sent in to figure out what the fuck's going on, and it's like visually, it looks fucking beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and that story sounds great. There's like mutant
All in for
plant
that.
things that they've all. It's kind of like BioShock.
But are there
to be
female
honest,
mutant
but-
plant
Well,
things in that?
to me, it sounds like a mix between like Wolfenstein and Bioshock.
And
Like
I
the new
think it
Wolfenstein with the
reminds me
alternate
of
history.
Prey, the
Oh,
more
yeah.
recent Prey.
Yeah, you gotta
on the
specify
space
which
station, which
Prey.
was fucking excellent game. So anyway, I watched the trailer and I was like, fuck, I'm playing this game. Looks amazing.
And it's soon, isn't it? It's,
This month. Yep. later
Oh,
this
is
month.
it? Yeah, I'm looking at this now.
There's
I
so
mean,
many
this
games coming
even
out.
looks a little bit Fallouty with that
21st.
kind of retro futurism.
Yeah, it's got
I'm
all
all in.
It's just got bits of everything. And one of the my favorite comments on the video I sent was that the top comment was, "This has all the elements that could make it the best game ever or the worst game ever," and I can't wait to find out which it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. February 21. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I just need to double check, but I'm pretty sure this is also coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, but I don't know. I don't know why I think that. I think you're right.
I'm right most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, coming to Game Pass.
There you go.
I love Game Pass.
Yeah,
They should sponsor us the amount I talk about them.
I got a confusing
You
email
sponsor
from PlayStation this week
Mm.
because I bought the PS5 and then I signed up for PlayStation Plus Extra,
Oh, my God.
right?
Oh, you signed up for that.
Which means,
Have you used it?
and yeah. That's how we're playing a lot of games. But I was a little confused. There's just a lot of bits to it. You know, with Game Pass, you just get Game Pass and then you have
Yeah.
it. With this, it's like there's PlayStation Plus Extra, and PlayStation Plus Ultra or something like that. I think I got the middle one. But anyway, I got an email this week that said we're winding down the PlayStation. It says they said that we're winding down the PlayStation Plus collection. And I was like, the fuck does that mean? And so I looked up these articles and they said, oh yeah, PlayStation Plus collection is winding down. So if you don't claim the games before May 9th, you don't get the games. But if you claim them before that, you get to keep them forever as long as you have
So is that-
PlayStation Plus. But then it was like, but you still get the PlayStation Plus catalog games. I was like, the fuck does that mean?
Okay, so you
This
get.
sounds a little bit like the Xbox Live, games with gold. how
Yeah.
each month you get a couple of games where you claim them and you own
That's
them.
another thing they have. That's a different
Oh.
thing to both of the things I just mentioned. So there's the PlayStation Plus collection. There's the PlayStation Plus
I don't get understand the
catalog,
claiming part there.
and then there's the monthly. So I don't know. Anyway, I read the email and I went cross-eyed, and I was like, I got to figure this out, and I still don't really know.
Which is that Sony just don't get it yet with the service yet. Like Game Pass has done it right. Like there is Game Pass and then it's Game Pass Ultimate, because that Game Pass Ultimate also includes PC. So
Oh, okay.
you get Game Pass PC, and Game Pass which does both.
Mhm.
Which
I mean, I'm sure if
Simple.
I sat down and looked at all the things, I could figure it out. But I was just reading it, going, I don't know what this means.
no, I don't. Well, I don't look into anything Sony because
No, that's fair.
Why would you? Hey, speaking of things only on PlayStation or also on television now, I haven't watched any more of The Last of Us. I might watch some more though. It's being talked about so much. The third episode that came out is being discussed frequently in the media at the moment for two reasons. One, half the people are saying it's the greatest episode of television ever made, and the other half are saying, why are there f***s in this? And it's currently being review bombed with a single star so that they don't put any more gay people in the show. Now, I don't know if there's a gay subplot in the game, but 50% of the audience are saying
and in
that
the
this is
second one, Ellie's actually come out. She is gay herself.
Yeah, they're definitely. Well, apparently, I haven't played all the way through the first game, but I've definitely seen people saying, no, there's always been that stuff in there. One thing I wanted to mention, though, Luke, you said the thing that's good, or the thing that people seem to be liking about this is that it's just an adaptation of the game story. Well, it's not anymore. Because
okay.
This episode apparently is just not in the game, whatever happens in this episode.
Okay. So, Because I've only read articles. I've not seen it.
Is it a bottle? What do they call it? A bottle episode that's just aside from the main plot, so it's just kind of exploring one character's backstory or something, and then they'll go back to the game.
I'm not sure. I've only played a bit of the game, and I've not seen any of the show.
Yeah, sometimes it could be hard to sometimes it might be hard to stick directly to it. You may need to throw something else into, because like when you play games, it's not just all cutscenes. There's stuff you learn.
I have played games that's mostly cutscenes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the Solid Snake series, but
yeah.
Oh god, Metal Gear 5, where it takes like 30 minutes to even start the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're still people just can't watch a show if it's got gay people in it.
They can't do it.
Still,
they can't do it, man.
Because 2023.
No, they can't.
Jesus Christ.
And see, and I think people don't understand that's the problem, and why they feel that people are trying to jam stuff in as they sort of say, like they're trying to...
I haven't seen the content, but
yeah,
I think they were just kissing.
Episode.
I think they were just kissing.
No, people think they're trying to like force a narrative and stuff, but the reason why they think that is because if people still think it's a problem.
No, Luke, if you see a gay couple on television, that could make you gay, right? It's scientifically proven.
Yeah.
No, I don't even think that's the problem anymore. Like that.
What is it then?
That is that.
Why does anyone give a shit?
No, it's because they think it's not the fact that they think that the agenda's being forced on them.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but yeah, I think you're right.
Like but if they don't,
if they think someone's trying to trick them into something.
But do they think that every movie up until last year has a hetero agenda trying to be forced on them?
Well, no, because the hetero agenda is the normal. That's the standard. Yeah, so that's all
normal.
fine.
You have to force that. That's just how it
is. But if you
sometimes
do
you've got to
force
force it
against the norm, it's for. But all they have to understand, like, it's only if you stop worrying about it, it stops being a thing.
Just go limp.
They're just human characters in a story. Like
don't affect your life at all.
No, they've got to be.
Oh, they're trying to normalize it. Yeah, it's because it's normal.
Yeah,
like they're not trying to normalize it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it just is normal. Fucking get over it. Yeah, I saw that stuff too. People complaining that it's men kissing. I don't know.
So
yeah,
all
okay,
right.
yeah.
But yeah, it's not unusual for that game to touch on those things.
No, I didn't think so either. But these guys are the experts apparently.
I did. I mean, obviously, if they'd made.
Oh, is it because it's Ellie in the game? When if it's women, yeah. When it's women, it's all right.
Different story.
Yeah, you can force that agenda on me.
Yeah.
Sorry, women kissing is not gay. That's just hot.
Yeah.
Well, I did have somebody online say that they were in a club and there was a girl trying to be all sexy, and she was like, I'm bisexual, and he was like, oh, so am I, and she went, ew.
I remember once I was going to a lesbian club with some friends, and this guy was, you're going to a lesbian club? Oh, this is great. I want to come. This is going. And so like,
no, it's not what you think. And they're not all secretly longing for dick.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to go there and you're going to see it, and they're going to go, oh, would you like to come? You have no interest in you. Like,
that's right.
But just try to explain that to this
Turns
guy.
out I like that. I didn't even know.
Yeah, that's right. It's not men, it's you specifically.
Yeah, I don't know. Jenna watched the first couple of episodes. She said it was all right. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, all right was how I felt about the first one as well. I mean, it was
she said
perfectly
it was
fine. Yeah. Perfectly fine.
Look, I just have no interest just because I don't want to support Sony.
Oh. Where's that come from?
A complete boycott now.
This is... was this like a fanboy thing where you're a Microsoft guy?
I'm upset with Sony at the moment.
Oh. Why?
Final Fantasy VII, the remake.
Oh, God.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah. How long has it been?
I want to play
You don't even like those games.
What? Except for the fact I've played every single one.
They've got achievements in them.
And I need to play it with achievements. But no, they just annoy me because of, Final Fantasy VII, the remake. And then the fact that they're trying to block the sale of Activision, going, exclusives are bad for business, but then they keep paying money to Square Enix to make Final Fantasy VII Remake exclusive. So,
exclusive to nerds.
We've got a little bit of follow up on Rust.
Oh yeah.
So apparently, this is such a high profile thing that when the documents for the court case were, collected, They got so many requests because the public can request documents. It's like a public.
Yes.
They're all
freedom
public
of information. Or as a First Amendment auditor will say, a FOIA request.
Oh my God, Luke.
Well, so many requests.
Luke
came
Alderson,
through
United States Attorney.
they got so many requests for these documents that they were like, fuck it, we made a website, just go get them yourself.
Wow.
Funny. So if you're interested,
they haven't done that with the JFK files, have they?
So you want to read about all that shit?
Well, that makes sense because this week a lot of new information has come out about this.
Is that true?
Yeah, and little things like a little bit more on why Alec Baldwin is actually charged with manslaughter and not just, because it's also kind of reckless endangerment as well.
I did say, actually, I've just remembered I read one thing.
So apparently, what was that?
That someone claims that during the firearm safety training, he was on his phone and not paying attention.
And that
I could actually believe that. Because remember, he got called out a long time ago from being on a plane, and the stewardess was going, "You need to put your phone on silent," and he was, "No, I'm just finishing his Words with Friends game."
Oh my God, he's got mate. I got so many kids.
Oh, you think that's what he was doing when they were teaching him?
Friends.
Also, but then
he's just addicted to Words with Friends.
I don't think they could have taught him anything that would have helped him in that scenario, though.
No,
not that
However,
it's okay that he was not paying attention.
One of the other apparently there was like a 2-week training session he was meant to go to for firearms training, and he didn't go. He went to the half-hour mandatory one, and then, as you say, he was on his phone the whole time. But also, evidently, he might have been told that even when you're rehearsing, you shouldn't be pointing the gun at people. And that is the big takeaway here, is that at no point should that have been pointed at.
I've been told that.
I'm still going to go off the fact that even with it, I don't think he was pointing at someone in that.
I mean, ballistics
in normal sense
proves that it was.
No. Because he was, to me, in that sort of situation, to be pointing at someone if someone was in the scene with him and they were blocking that. For this, he was was probably pointing at camera or slightly off, and then she was there.
Correct.
Which I don't think was pointing at her.
No, correct. You are correct. And it's certain, I mean, but if they were going to do a take properly and the gun had been loaded, even with blanks and stuff, there would have been a perspex screen in between the crew and him anyway that wasn't put up.
Bulletproof perspex.
The worst that's going to happen is he will get a fine, because at the end of the day, it's the armourer who's.
They did tell you that. I know I've been in a scenario where I was being shown a historic firearm that, as far as I know, didn't even function, but I got told, stop. You'd be more mindful of where you're pointing that, because you're pointing that at someone right now. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't work. And then everyone said, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Because the next one that they hand you might...
Or just best practice, don't ever point any gun at anyone.
I was like I said, and it's not like I was joking around or anything. I was just oblivious to the fact that I was holding it, and then the business end was pointed at somebody.
Yeah, I think it's also a big thing.
Fair enough.
Us being like from Australia, we really don't have as much. We're not around guns as much as all, so we're not brought up like learning how and doing that. I know I was probably about 13 when I started shooting guns, and that's when I was taught, like, you never ever, even if unloaded, even if not no bullets at all, you never point. Always a sort of down, never finger on trigger. But you learn that. It's not something that you just know.
Sure. But apparently there was training of that, and he ignored it. So, I mean, because I started to think, I go back and forth depending on who's trying to convince me, but I was certainly convinced at one point. I'm like, well, the man didn't know the gun was loaded. He thought he was an actor playing in a scene. Like, how is this his fault at all? But there is a few tiny things that make me think, oh, okay. Like, he keeps, even though he says, I was moving the hammer back. Okay, well, you shouldn't have been doing that. Like, and somebody should have been there telling you not to do it as well. So it's someone else's fault as well. But
yeah, look, as I said,
and also the fact that the second AD passed you the gun and not the armourer, that was wrong too. The armourer is saying that she shouldn't be held accountable because she wasn't even there, because she wasn't told there needed to be a gun in that scene.
Right.
But, well, with that comes down to, that does come back to him then.
As a producer.
As the producer.
Yeah.
Like, he's responsible for the set and making sure that the people are there.
And when you look at, like, the fact that earlier that day or that week, people had walked off because of the unsafety, because of the lack of safety. I mean, they'd walked off for other reasons as well, because there was stuff with accommodation and pay that was apparently because they were just cutting all sorts of corners on this.
Look, it's going to cost him lots of money. He's not going to see jail at all.
Unless they decide to make like a show of it.
Example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think you're probably right. And I don't want him to go to jail. Like, I mean, he's in hell right now being punished for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died.
No, I just mean, he's in hell being punished for this.
But look, at the end of the day, I think it just goes back to being just a terrible accident.
I thought you were going to say he's a terrible actor.
All it is.
I started
watching 30 Rock again.
Yeah, he's fucking 30 great.
Matt
hunted all animals, including the most dangerous. Manatee.
I tried to watch 30 Rock, and I
didn't get into it.
Like it, so I stopped watching it.
The thing about 30 Rock is, in one moment, there'll be like a really sophisticated, highbrow joke, and then someone will fall over in a funny way. Yeah, or say something in a funny voice. And I think they do try to make everyone laugh, which means that maybe there's no one person laughing at all the jokes. Like, I just can't stand Kenneth. Nothing he does makes me laugh, and other people are like, Kenneth, everything he does is funny.
He's the greatest show. Yeah. No, I'm with you. Kenneth? No. Liz Lemon, on the other hand.
Yeah, exactly. Anything Liz and Jack.
Yes. They work so well together.
Yeah, amazing.
Maybe I'll try it again. Maybe.
By the third season, they'd almost started writing exclusive for those two, and all of the side characters became very minimalized.
Yeah.
So there's no continuity. Just jump into some of their later episodes.
All right. See how it goes.
Yeah, there's a TV show that sort of runs in the background, but don't pay attention to it. Like, you don't have to worry about storyline, really.
Yeah. Oh, I started watching a good TV show this week. Again, this is not in the show notes. They suck. But I started watching Conk on Earth.
Conk?
Oh,
yeah.
She's hilarious.
Yeah, she's great.
That's fucking...
I haven't watched this one, but I did watch her Conk in England.
Yeah, I've seen her old stuff where it's just so straight.
And she's always features in the yearly wrap-ups that Charlie Brooker does.
Yeah, okay, because he wrote this show with her, I think.
Yeah, they've been working together for years.
So for listeners, the premise is it's like a documentary about the history of the world, but she's an idiot, and it's just deadpan, stupid humor.
And her talking to
she interviews experts, but asking the most stupid questions.
King Arthur came a lot, didn't he?
Yeah, and then so we know that the brain is a series of pipes, don't we? Well, I don't think I do know that. Well, it is. So anyway,
tell me more about the Soviet onion.
The experts in their response, I love them. Like,
they're so patient with her.
I'm like, did they know? Like, are they briefed in any way beforehand? I don't want to know because it'll maybe ruin it a bit. But I am curious because they never, so far, they don't get mad or anything, and they all seem fairly straight-faced as well.
Yeah,
like
maybe they get told she's special needs. Like maybe there's something that they say that makes them give her a little break,
because they don't get annoyed either. They just kind of like, they're like, okay, like, but also they're not actors.
No.
So yeah. Anyway, it's very funny.
I need to
Julius Caesar was the most famous Roman until Polanski. That's a line in this one that I enjoyed.
Yeah. School in Shakespeare's time was even easier than it is now, mostly because they didn't need to study Shakespeare.
It's very good.
All right, I will start watching it. What's it on?
Yeah.
Netflix. Yeah.
Netflix, okay.
I think here too.
Have you seen the controversy of Netflix at the moment?
Go on.
People are losing their mind over the fact that Netflix is trying to enforce the no password sharing.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do they enforce it?
People are sort of taking it to really extremes, and it's like...
I mean, everyone understands they're not meant to share, right? Like, I share mine.
I think it's a gamble on Netflix's part to do this.
I know I'm not meant to.
Like, they're the first ones to do it. The others are going to come in with stuff eventually.
I think that... So, yeah, because the problem for Netflix is, right, so they've hit a wall as far as subscribers go, right? And so now they're looking at it and they're going, well, we've got all these families and who are just given, or friends who are just buying one account, sharing the password around. We want to stop that.
I'll tell you how you stop that.
I guess
make it $25.
They're gambling on the fact that if they block these people's accounts, they're not just going to walk away. They're all just going to go buy their own accounts.
I think they're gambling on. They know they're going to lose some, but they're planning to get more. But the thing is, people are sort of going like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." Well, Netflix doesn't have anything good anyway, so people are just going to cancel their stuff. Well, they don't have anything good. Why are you sharing your password?
They do, though. They do have good stuff. That's the thing.
And then
they've got the most really solid good comment was.
Because they were talking about how it works with the sharing and stuff, and they're going, well, I'm a uni student, and so I'll have my account at uni, but when I go back home, might get locked out because I'm here. Sort of like, is your family using your account? No, you're probably scabbing off theirs.
So they put up an article this week on the website that said if you're using your Netflix account outside of the registered address with your account, every 30 days you'll have to be on your home network, otherwise it'll block your account.
Yep.
And that was up for a couple of days and everyone lost their minds over it. And then they've now come out and said, oh yeah, sorry about that. That was only meant to be on the website. Some South American countries. That doesn't apply to, to you guys. It's like, really? Or did you just freak out because everybody got so mad about it?
Yeah.
I actually think that's sort of
worse.
Okay. No,
it is just for South America?
No. The fact that, so once every 30 days, you just have to make sure you're in your home account when you log in. So I can still...
You would have to...
log in from somewhere.
Yes, but you couldn't, say, for example, if you had an account, you couldn't give Dan the login, and he couldn't just use it from his house.
No.
But you're not meant to,
why would I do that?
Right? You're not meant
to. Because if Dan logs in on his TV, and that TV is in your house within the next 30 days, Luke, your account's going to get blocked.
Does my account get blocked as well? Because I've given him my password? You don't have an account.
You're using his account.
No.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no. Okay, so that's what I meant.
The account gets blocked. But but because you can still travel with it. And I think that's where they're trying...
but the device you're using has to be back in your house. Otherwise...
But that doesn't work.
What if I'm on my laptop?
TV at a hotel?
Yeah, well, I think that's why they rolled it back, because people were pointing out that's a fucking stupid idea.
Yeah.
I can understand, you need to log in on your account.
I'm pretty sure some guy in a suit came up with it and said, I've got it, I've solved it, put it on the website, and then
hold on, that doesn't work.
Yeah, and they've gone,
what if I've got a VPN? Surely that means you're not going to know where I am, necessarily.
They block those too. They've tried to block those for years.
Yeah, Netflix are the first. They're going to take a little while to get it right, but people's responses are, this is why I'm going to go back to pirating and stuff, and it's sort of like...
But someone on the internet was saying piracy is important. This was with regards to GoldenEye, actually.
Oh,
we talked about GoldenEye last week. The game. And how they felt like the people got ripped off with this port of GoldenEye for some fucking reason. There's a big fuss about it. And someone was saying, piracy is important because, without piracy, we wouldn't be able to send a message to them that they need to do better. They're... And I was like, no. The way you're supposed to do it is you don't buy it, but you also don't get to play it.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Where are you sneaking piracy in here? If you go to the store and you go, Nestle, they're fucking assholes.
Yeah.
I'll just steal this chocolate bar.
Yeah.
No. You don't get to have it and also not pay for it. Yeah, because fuck Lamborghini. They're too expensive and I don't want to pay that much for it. So I'm just going to take it.
Yeah.
Until they learn a lesson. That's not how it works. And I know it's not the same because you don't take it and it's gone. And
when piracy used to be the biggest in Australia was when there was actually no option.
Yeah.
Yes. You couldn't watch it unless you pirated it.
Yeah, like
Game of Thrones.
There was absolutely
you couldn't watch it.
No option.
You had to pirate
at all.
Or
and they tried to spin
not watch
that,
it.
But that was the truth of it.
You were supposed to still not watch it. But
but the truth of it was that you couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second that, because Australia was like the biggest piracy country in the world.
Right.
And then they brought in Netflix and all these other, and then piracy just dropped, and you don't see it in the news anymore because you gave us the options. But now I think people are going, I now deserve it no matter what, even though there are options.
If someone's trying to sell something and you go, no, it's more than I want to pay for it, but I'm going to have it anyway. That's not how it works.
No, yeah.
No.
And it's good that I can take it because that'll teach him.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
What'll it teach him? They're going to have to put all their prices up because too many people are pirating.
Yeah, the best way to actually teach them is to not buy
it or not
and
buy
don't
it.
take it. And
Correct.
then they
That
don't make
actually
any money,
teaches them.
and then
Yeah.
yeah.
It was a weird. I was like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And because even when you look at
And a
Netflix,
scary number of people were like, yeah, absolutely, that's correct. Like, no, it's not correct.
and there are like a lot of different options. I think like in other countries now, you can actually get Netflix with ads.
Yeah, you
Which
can
is
hear
like-
too, I think now.
$7 a month or something.
Also,
not the $25.
Netflix
It's-
scale their pricing depending on what country you're in. So if you're in a third world country,
Yeah,
you can
right.
still get Netflix, but it just costs you a few bucks because
Mm.
that's the equivalent of the $25 we pay.
Mm.
Oh, and I don't care if you pirate stuff. Let's be clear about that. And I made that clear on Twitter as well. I don't give a shit what you do. Just don't try and pretend you're Robin Hood.
Yes, exactly.
Because-
Don't pretend that that's why you're pirating it. You're pirating
Good,
it
yeah,
because
don't
you
try
don't
and
want
make
to
it like,
pay
oh,
for it.
you know,
You wanna watch it or play it.
I'm pirate because I'm a good person and I want to teach these corporations lesson. No, come
No.
on, mate.
No.
That's not why.
No,
If
look, the only time-
if you really were a good, like you're trying to do the ultimate good, you just wouldn't watch the fucking show or play the game or whatever.
The only
Just-
time I ever look at going to India now is when I go, I want to watch this, and I look at everything, and I
can't find
cannot
it.
find it.
Yeah.
Like anywhere. And
There was something I did
I
that
buy-
with this week, and it
sometimes
wasn't even
I
in
just
India.
get it because I can't be bothered. Because it's
Yeah.
just easier. Like I'm not gonna lie, I do it too, but I don't pretend that I'm like, oh, I'm just doing this because
I've
for
gone to the
altruistic
Pirate
reasons.
Bay
Yeah.
and downloaded something that is on Netflix because when I'm watching it, Netflix does that thing where it auto adjusts the resolution depending on your
Oh.
bandwidth. And I'm like, no, fuck this. I'd rather just pause it and buffer, or I'll just
Yeah.
download it and watch it in VFL.
you've got good internet now, though.
Yeah, now
don't
it's
you,
not a
when you
problem.
moved? Yeah, now you got 5% of premise.
Mm.
Now we're all like Matt.
I heard a podcast the other day talking about how in Australia internet's cheaper, and I was like, you've not been to
No,
Australia.
it isn't. No, it isn't.
It's certainly
No.
not. To the US, because they were talking about
No.
I think someone had said to them, they complain about things in America. I think healthcare and stuff, and people were like,
Well, yeah.
on Twitter were telling them, why don't you move to another country then? And they're like, because that's not how it works.
No, or we could just fight for better healthcare, but sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because you can't just move to another country when you feel like it. Like not that
Because you can't afford a doctor in your country.
yeah. But then they were talking about Australia came up.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then
paying
that-
$150 a
Same.
month.
Yeah,
Just
one of the
for
things they
internet.
said was, "Oh yeah, internet's cheaper there," and I was like, "Fucking no, it's not."
No, you want cheap internet? Go to Singapore. You get gigabit for $40.
Yeah, or Japan, I think too, very cheap.
But it's easier to set the infrastructure up in like smaller countries.
Yeah, it
and,
is. Yeah.
Whereas Australia is terrible for setting it up because
Yeah, because
everything's
there's
so
big
far
gaps
apart.
in between everything.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Before we get off,
And no one in
Netflix,
between wants it.
I watched something on Netflix this week. Matt, I mentioned this to you yesterday. I
Yes.
watched All Quiet on the Western Front. I'm calling this as movie of the year for me, and it's going to take
Really,
a really
Fuck,
good
it's
movie.
January,
to top
Dan,
this.
or
I know,
February.
Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
This is an
Did it even come
old
out this
school
year?
epic, right? War
Yeah, right.
epic. Amazing cinematography, amazing performances, amazing music. The music is next.
Yeah, I had to
level
listen to
good.
that today.
Fuck
I was
me.
working. That's good shit. Yeah, it's good.
It is excellent. It's excellent. It is in German language, so you will have to read if you want to watch it,
Oh.
Luke. But it's
Hey, one of my favorite movies is German.
which one's that?
Well, it's like
Can you
the
say it
British
on this?
Army speaking in German, is it?
Girls
That's
on
weird.
Top.
Oh, Girls on Top, yeah, classic. There's no
Still
English in
cannot
it,
get
actually.
the dubbed
Matt.
version of that.
There's barely even any French, but there are French. They're the enemies, and it is funny because this is obviously there's no politics whatsoever in this movie. This is just about how
This is
how
at
much
the
it sucks to be a soldier.
level.
And
Right.
it follows this group of really idealistic young German guys who sign up in the last year of the war, and this is the First World War, and then really, really regret it, right?
Yeah.
And
Sure.
but the way
As
that
many must have.
all of them
Yeah.
must have, right? But the fact that it just follows these guys, and they mention Germany and stuff like that. It doesn't pretend they don't, but because that's who you follow when they're in the trenches and they hear a tank coming or something. You're like, oh, fuck, get out, we'll get away from that tank. Get away from them. And then you're like, that's us. We're in those tanks. It's our granddads. You know what I mean? Like, but it really does. It is very, very good at all. It has all the best anti-war. All the best war movies are anti-war movies, and this one's very good for doing that. But without being all in your face about it. Like, how do you think you would have felt? You know, and it's not like that. It's just a very good movie.
Oh, I might check that out.
It's 2.5 hours.
Oh, you said it's on Netflix?
Netflix.
No, fuck that, I'll download it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teach
Screw
them a
Netflix
lesson.
for trying to make money.
Yeah. We've got, I guess this is follow-up of a sort. We've got some DC news this week.
Yeah.
They've announced what they're doing.
They have.
What are they doing? Because I saw that it was announced, but I didn't actually care enough to open the article.
Quite a lot of stuff. We've got, these are I think 10 things James Gunn said he's doing. Let me get the list. Is at the bottom.
I did have to ask, are they rebooting and starting from scratch, or are they...
Yes.
Seems like it is.
There's going to be another The Batman.
And another The Joker.
Yeah. So they're not closing the book on that, though. But other than that, this stuff is all new. Well, no, actually, that's not true, because
Batmans and Jokers,
one of these is
the DCU.
There's a thing called Creature Commandos, which is an animated show that is written by James Gunn, already in production, includes characters that we know from the Suicide Squad already, voiced by the actors from the Suicide Squad, and all the other voice actors in it will be actors who can then play those characters in live action stuff later.
Okay.
So I guess it's a big budget thing. So there's that. There's Waller, which is the continuation of Peacemaker, I guess. Mm-hmm. Or a spin-off of Peacemaker. It's Viola Davis's character.
Oh, sure.
So I guess they're continuing that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Superman Legacy. That's James Gunn's Superman movie.
And that's with the new replacement.
Now, he has one chance to get this right. And I hope he nails it, because I do want to see a good Superman movie, and I believe he can do it. And I really hope he nails it.
Yeah, same. So they're doing Lanterns, a Green Lantern thing, with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. So it's described as in the vein of True Detective. So, okay.
With Green Lantern. Fuck me.
Yeah, okay.
All right. I'm all in. Yep.
Sounds good.
He probably just means multiple timelines. I'm not sure he means like there's going to be prostitutes ritualistically murdered.
With this Lovecraftian thing going on in the background.
That's right. Yeah. King in Yellow. Put Ryan Reynolds in it. He wants it badly.
Yeah. That would be funny. The Authority, some DC
Well, you got to redeem Deadpool, so why not redeem Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Paradise Lost, which is Game of Thrones meets Wonder Woman. It's the story of...
with Wonder Woman?
Themyscira. What's that?
Is Wonder Woman in it?
I don't think so, because it's about the origin of the place, she gets born later. I don't know, maybe.
Oh, sure. I see. Yep.
The Brave and the Bold, which will be the introduction of the new Batman that will be in the DCU.
Yep.
Right? With Robin, who in this case, Robin will be Damian Wayne, Bruce Wayne's son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So not the Robert Pattinson one.
No.
So I guess
now, even if that continues, that'll be different. No, it might continue and just not be part of the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Joker, they have to... I think they did well, but they have to be separate. Because it doesn't work.
I'd like to watch Brave and Bold. I think that could be good. I think Robin's never been done well on screen. I think he works very well in the comics.
Excuse me?
You're Christopher O'Donnell fan?
Chris O'Donnell. He's a Christopher. All right. Like he's grown up.
Isn't that his name? Right.
No, I'm talking about the original 60s Batman.
Yeah.
You telling me Robin wasn't done well there?
Yeah, the fact that they had to add a female character living into that house because it just came across too gay.
Look, I'm going to be honest, there's nothing that's jumping out as anything that's...
Booster Gold, which should be fun. About a guy from the future who travels back in time and uses future technology to pretend he's a superhero in the present day. That's fun.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
A Supergirl movie that's apparently super dark, hardcore. All right.
Okay. I mean, that is what they said about the first Supergirl movie, where they really went in a different direction to the Superman movies it was attached to.
Well, this says here, even, where is it? the story of Kara Zor-El, who had a more disturbing and darker origin story than Superman before she finally made
more
her way to
disturbing
Earth.
than
So
whole family and planet murdered.
I guess so. I guess I don't know the backstory of Kara Zor-El.
No.
So. And the last one is Swamp Thing. They're making a
I'm all
Swamp
in for
Thing
that.
movie,
But that's it.
which they've also has come out is, well, at this point, being directed by James Mangold.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
All right then.
Yeah.
Look,
Give that a
honestly,
go.
Swamp Thing is the only thing that I'm sort of interested in.
I
Mm.
mean, it sounds good. It's just a bit late considering
But
Is
I don't
anyone
know, I
watching
think
all the new Marvel movies, or have we just done with all
I'm
that
not,
stuff?
mate. Fucking hell. There are too many of them now. And B, the series are better than the films. And they're just spreading it too thin now. You know? She-Hulk? No thanks. They're just trying to broaden the audience, and they're just losing the core audience that's there. Like, I'm after Eternals. I watched the
Did you
Thor.
watch Luke, I assume you watched Wakanda Forever.
I didn't mind it. But I was confused going in because for some reason in my head I thought he was coming back to do Wakanda Forever.
I think they were hoping he would, but you know,
they wanted you to be a bit confused.
something got in the way. I can't.
For some reason in my head, I thought he filled all these seeds.
I mean, he did his best, but
well, there
some
is
things
a
you just
reviewer
can't.
that I know who kind of fanboys the Marvel things and always kind of gives them 5 stars. Who watched that recently, gave it 2 stars, and said, "I guess Chadwick Boseman was what was good about this series."
Really?
So I wasn't going
the
to
next
watch
one
it,
that
and
comes
now I
out
probably
is-
won't ever.
The next one to come out is Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah.
That comes out very soon. I have no interest in Ant-Man.
no interest.
Ant-Man's a great side
The
character.
second Ant-Man movie was better than the first, I thought, but I've got no interest in watching anymore.
I don't know. For some reason, when he's in like the other Avengers movies, like what was it?
Yeah, he's fun. He's good
Captain
comic
America
relief.
Yeah.
versus like that was he was great in that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he as a lead, I don't think his character's got it. So I'm not looking forward to that. But Guardians is the next one after that.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, third Guardians.
All in.
Third and final must be.
Yes.
It is
third and final.
The
James
characters
Gunn, and then no more
and Drax. Yeah,
So,
Drax.
See what the others do.
yeah, because he wants to do more serious movies, like the M. Night Shyamalan movie he's doing now.
Yeah, which is apparently garbage.
Of course it is. Did
Well,
you
I've
watch
heard
that
mixed
one
things.
where the beach made you get old?
Oh, I
Fucking hell.
heard about that.
It was awful. It was awful.
There was some controversy this week with the DC stuff because Zachary Levi, who plays Shazam, they got that new Shazam movie just about to come out. So the other day, he retweeted somebody who asked him about Pfizer, and he basically said Pfizer's like a threat to humanity or something like that. And then I think the DC PR department went into panic mode because people were like, "The fuck is this shit?"
I'm surprised there was another Shazam. I thought that movie was pretty ordinary.
I didn't watch the first one.
And I watched it because I thought it. I mean, and it is canon. It does link into the others.
Well, people were saying, I don't know all about
tonally,
DC, but
it's
people were
for
saying,
kids.
well, and apparently Black Adam is Shazam's bad guy,
Okay,
right?
right.
In the comics, which I didn't know that. Someone was talking
Never
about that
heard of Black
online,
Adam.
and because people were complaining, people were saying, "Oh, why aren't these movies connected?" And then other people were saying, "Oh, you say things don't have to all be connected like Star Wars, but then you want this connected." And it's like, no, it's literally the same fucking story.
Yeah.
Like, so. But anyway, James Gunn got asked about the tweet because it was like the next day they announced all this stuff, and his answer, which I thought was great, was, "We can't just change our plans based on some tweet some actor makes." He goes, "And I don't believe, I don't believe the same things all of these actors believe. He's entitled to his opinion, but And
I think he's the first to sort of say that because he got fired from his tweets in the past.
He also seems to be
Basically
doing that
saying-
with The Flash because he came out this week and said how long Ezra Miller stays as The Flash will depend on how Ezra Miller recovers from his problems.
yeah,
His or her.
yeah.
Or
I
their.
mean, it seemed pretty reasonable.
Well, they have really shut them down now. Like, he's not in the papers. He's not out there and about. I think he's getting the help that they need.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess
Hopefully.
Shazam's still coming out.
Yeah.
Well,
And then-
But Shazam's not going to be canon with
But he was,
all of these
his
James
point is
Gunn
fair.
movies,
He said,
is
"I
he?
don't believe he said, I don't, I'm not agree with all the politics of all the actors that I work with. They don't all agree with my politics, and we're all entitled to our own opinion. Just because he tweets something doesn't mean,
That's how it used to work for sure. I mean, up until 10 years ago.
That tweet, I know it upset a lot of people, but it's just his opinion.
Yeah, and also...
Obviously, he's anti-vax.
Are we still in COVID? It doesn't feel like it here.
Yeah. I know, and it's like...
Oh, I didn't know who was that sort of side of it. He's an idiot then.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was
I don't know how else. I don't know how else to take the tweet, to be honest. I don't know how else to take it. But I assume that's what
I thought he was going. I thought he was maybe going more that they're sort of money hungry with some of the stuff that they.
Well, maybe he was. I don't know. Yeah. He didn't clarify. So
like some of those drugs that could cost nothing to make now that they make like 1,000% on, and
well, if that's what he meant, he should have just clarified.
I don't think that's what he meant.
So no, I don't think so either. Or either that, or the PR called him immediately and said, "Shut the fuck up." Look, got a movie coming out next week.
Yeah, and it's a movie.
You're fucking driving it to the ground.
Like, obviously, this is not part of James Gunn's forecast going forward. This is his last chance. So he's lucky they finished filming this before James Gunn came on board, or this movie wouldn't even be a thing. They've cancelled a lot
of other stuff.
They cancelled Batgirl, and they've even finished it. Yeah.
Well, there's a thing about that too this week, because at the time they said, it was a financial decision and all this kind of stuff, but James Gunn, what's the other guy? There's the two of them that are kind of in charge now. I forget his name. The other guy said this week in an interview, James Knife said Batgirl was unreleasable, which has apparently ruffled some feathers because they asked the directors of it about it, and they said, well, they told us there was absolutely nothing wrong with it, except they just made a financial decision not to release it.
Yeah, financial decision because it was garbage by the sounds of it.
It's like,
if it was a good movie, we'd be seeing it, trust me.
And you were satisfied with that answer, were you?
Because I don't understand, even if it was an average movie, you would release it. It would make money still.
I like this. So it's Peter Safran, and his quote is, I saw the movie. Yeah. There was a lot of incredibly talented people in front and behind that camera, but the film was not releasable. It happens sometimes. The film was not releasable.
Right, which is not the same as, we just didn't have the money or whatever. It sounds like the film was shit.
Yeah. Because, it doesn't make sense to be just a purely financial, also tax purpose that we cancel. If the movie, was going to make money, the movie would make money even if it was terrible.
It could even be, and I feel like if it's so vague. It could even be something like the studio meddled and then it ended up as a mess. That happens too.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's what he meant.
Might not be anyone's fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this was I don't think the budget on this was insane. I think this was sort of a lower budget for a sort of a superhero movie. And with the publicity that they've got with it being cancelled and all this, if they were to release it, they wouldn't be losing money. But I think they'd be losing reputation from the sound.
Well, they didn't want to spend the money on advertising it, I think, was where the finance comes in. Because they spend as much on marketing as they do on the film. And so that's
only if it's any good.
Spend twice as much money, and you look at it and you go, nah, fuck it.
When consider some of the shithouse fucking superhero movies, especially from DC, that they've pulled out and expected us to go and see.
How bad must
this have been? Must have been awful.
And look, they could actually use the advertising from just we're cancelling it, it's not going ahead. That's their advertising.
Right. Yeah. It must have been.
And now to turn around and go, hey, if you really want to see it, let us know.
Yeah, we'll put it on streaming.
They could advertise for it very cheaply now to build up that bit of hype for you really want it, here it is. And they'd get their money without having to spend twice the budget.
Speaking of money, and we don't have to talk about this for too long, I'll just intervene and just say the Queen is dead, so they've got to replace the $5 note in Australia. And everyone thought, okay, so we're going to get a note with Charles on it. No, they're not going to do that. They've come out this week and said they're going to put another Aborigine on it.
Is that what this sentence on here means? Hang on, I'm going to refresh it. The sentence at the top that I was like, what does that mean? Line 16 of the spreadsheet. I was like,
no king on money. Sorry. I typed it quickly with one hand while I just remembered that it was coming in.
Do we know who at this stage, or
no? I don't think they know. They just said someone who reflects our Indigenous past. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
I mean, that makes way more sense.
Way more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you look at what the Charles as king has done for Australia, really, as king, it's...
Well,
They haven't given him any time, Luke. You haven't given him time.
He hasn't even had his coronation yet. Like, he hasn't really...
Give him a chance.
Nah, day one. What have you done for us?
Yeah.
Yeah. A funny thing that I saw this on Twitter, actually, and then I was like, the fuck's going on there? Anya Taylor-Joy's Twitter account got hacked.
Oh.
And announced Queen's Gambit Season 2. And she's had to come out and say, that wasn't me. My account got hacked. But what I saw on there, and I don't think this is in the article, she was trying to sell people MacBooks, right? So I'm scrolling through Twitter, and it's Anya Taylor-Joy with this post saying, I've got 10 MacBooks. I'll sign them. Just Venmo me $1,000 and I'll send you one. And I was like...
Matt considered
So I was like, what?
He's like, I like MacBooks and I like Anya Taylor-Joy.
It caught my eye enough that I clicked and I was like, that sounds like a scam. Why is Anya Taylor-Joy trying to scam people?
Which is sort of weird. What?
Like you assumed she was scamming you, not that someone was scamming her.
It's not straight to Bitcoin or anything. That's
is this real? What? And why does she have 10 Mac? I was like, I have so many questions. And I clicked through it. I'm like, oh, she's just...
I love it. That's where it falls apart for Matt. He's like, why would Anya Taylor-Joy have 10 MacBooks?
I've got
There's
no
way
she
she
likes
could
Apple
afford
at all.
10 MacBooks, not even on her salary. We had to have a debriefing from the CEO recently where she was saying, any emails you got from me asking you to get me Xbox gift cards, I will never ask you for gift cards.
Yeah. We used to get
so many people are falling for that scam.
We get, have I told you this before? Maybe, I don't know if I should tell the story. I get one thing that I think is odd, and I understand why, but just to me it seems odd, is that we at work get emails from the IT department where they will forward spam emails and say, this is a spam email. If you get one like this, don't click on it. And I want to reply and say, don't forward them to me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, I wasn't getting them and now I am.
The link.
Remove
the link. That you don't even got the click.
Yeah. Like, no, I know they're just trying to call attention to it. It's just funny because I guess I've never gotten them except from them.
Yeah.
Where they forward them to me and say, this is spam.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Same. No one has asked me. No, I've never gotten an email from my CEO asking me to get her a gift card. Like, and if I did, I'd know that was
just
a scam.
Constantly emailing saying, I don't want gift cards. Stop buying me gift cards.
I got that parent scam where you get a text saying, "Hey Dad,
hi
it's
Mum,
me.
I've lost my phone.
Yeah, can you wire me some money?" And I wrote back, "Does this ever work?" And I got no reply.
It does, unfortunately. That's why they do it.
Must work.
And that is
enough.
the problem. Well, it's a big business.
But it only has to work once or twice if you're asking for enough money. And I remember, did you guys remember that Twilight Zone episode where the guy gets rang by a psychic and he says, I'm a psychic and I'll give you the lotto numbers this week. So buy yourself a lottery ticket. I'm not going to ask for anything. And so he buys a lottery ticket and it's correct. The numbers he gives him are right. So the next week he's like, I'll give them to you again. I don't want anything in return. And he does it and it's right again. He does it heaps of times. This guy's getting really rich and the guy's like, okay, I'm going to do it again. And this time it's for the jackpot. And if you win it now, you give me all the money, right? And you keep everything you've made up until now. And he does it and he wins. And he's like, this guy must be real. And it turns out the twist is this guy has written thousands of letters with different numbers in each one. And this has just been the only instance where it's always worked. Because probability says it will work at least once, and all
you just send out all the numbers. Once.
Yeah, all the possible numbers.
The scam thing leads to something else that happened this week, which is Twitter is blocking access to the API unless you pay, right?
Yeah,
they're scamming themselves.
They're basically going to shut down. I don't understand this at all. Yeah, so you basically the only way you'll be able to use Twitter is with the app, which just it's just so odd. But the reason they're giving for it is to cut off spam, because spam bots use the API to post all the stuff and that kind of thing. And it just made me laugh because everyone's saying, like, you don't think the scammers will just pay for API access? Like, do you know how much money they put into this shit? You think charging them $5 a month for API access is going to stop them? So I just don't understand what they think this is going to do. Other than drive people away from Twitter, as they have been doing for the last couple of months.
Well, I mean, they're certainly very gung-ho about that.
It's not them getting rid of users, it's they're getting rid of people who want to advertise on it. Which is literally the problem, which is the whole problem, is you weren't making money.
Just preventing people from using it in the way people want to use it. Weird.
Anyway, but I don't know but what happens if they do fail as a business? Twitter won't.
Because there's also issues too. Like they've been bragging about how they've been shutting down servers and stuff. They didn't need all these servers and that. But now, like, a lot of people are complaining that if you go in to Twitter on your desktop and look at your mentions or your activity, it's different to what you see on your mobile, and it never evens out, right? So basically, for example, the hosts of more successful podcasts than ours get a lot of tweets at them, right? But they don't get all the tweets anymore. And so basically, they've said, we can't use Twitter anymore for what we used to use it for, which is soliciting questions and feedback on the show, because people tweet at us, just doesn't tell us anymore.
We're not getting it all.
Like, you literally just don't see it all. So
I thought it might have been, when you first saying that, I thought it might have been like a sort of a thing, like they're sort of going off what people use their phones for, and they've done research, but that just sounds like, no, that's broken.
I think they've just shut down some service that makes sure it works. Like,
yeah.
Well, there were probably women working in that department, and so now there's just no staff because they've fired all the women.
Yeah. And then people were laughing too, because there was that thing about, I don't know the specifics, but there was some conspiracy theory about the Twitter experience changed in some way if your account was private. So Elon Musk made his account private to test this theory, and people were like, "Isn't there not just someone that works there that knows how the fucking thing works? Like, why do you have to do that?"
Yeah.
Like, just
why does the
go and have a look.
CEO have to do that? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you find everyone who knows how to use it. Anyway.
Well, no, I think that's more so on him. Just even if someone was to tell him, he wouldn't trust them, because he doesn't trust the people he's got working for them. So
sounds like a good way to run a business. Is just don't trust your employees.
Yep.
Matt,
well, why would he trust them? They made him spend billions of dollars.
Did you buy the flamethrower? Why do I think you did?
No. I considered it. I was very close
from the Boring Company.
I considered buying a Boring Company hat. I thought that was quite funny. That tickled me when they came out with it. And I thought, okay, I might buy a hat. But I'm glad I didn't now, because he's a fucking idiot.
They're saying it's a scam. Right. I mean, I don't understand all the ins and outs of that now, but they're saying the Boring Company's a scam, which, again, I'm not saying that. Don't sue me. That's just things people are saying online. It's like, I mean, I haven't heard of them doing anything of use. Maybe
no, but that was never the case. They were never doing anything of use anyway, because they
were going to build the tunnels, but then now they're not building the tunnels.
Fucking,
but they also,
from under his house to downtown.
Yeah, exactly. And what they're saying is that they started building some of the tunnels so that the local governments shut down programs to expand public transport, and then now they've just stopped building the tunnels as well. And so he basically just stopped. Yeah, these expansions that he didn't want from happening.
LA doesn't have good public transport at the best of times.
No. The tram out to Santa Monica was a surprise. I was like, oh, there's one of those. Okay.
Huh.
You can get from downtown out there on a tram. Okay. I'm surprised, to be honest. That's how little I think of your infrastructure.
Yeah.
I thought there was just that blue bus Luke and I used to catch.
I love that blue bus. Put the dollar in, it took me to the pier.
It just drives around in a circle.
Yep.
There was one time when we were in San Francisco where we were too tired or too drunk to work out $6 between the three of us?
Yeah.
Might have been both.
He said cash only, and it had to be exact exchange, and we didn't each have $2. And so we were going to get off the tram, and then the tram driver was like, wait a minute, how much do you have? It was like $5. It's like, how much do you have? $1. He's like, well, that's $6.
Remember that fucking maniac tram driver?
Oh, yeah. It must have been.
It must have been like his last day or something, where he was like, "Doors are open, mate. Just fucking get on. I don't care.
Come on, yeah." And you just heard him like, "All right,
I haven't got all day.
Have a drive." Yeah.
Yeah, you want to drive? Yeah, that was weird.
Yes, I do.
That was a weird morning.
Yeah, that was very strange. Where things also get very strange in the after party.
Oh yeah, that's true. How do I get to the
Head over
after
to
party?
Patreon if you want to. If you don't want to stop now, if you're all revved up and you don't want this to be the end, then go to Patreon /multiple nerdgasm. Chuck us.
I got another scam I'm going to mention to you.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
And as usual, we'll talk about some dead celebrities. And might even mention Keanu Reeves. Not a dead celebrity or a scammer, but he is doing
that we know
of. That we know of.
He couldn't possibly be.
No, he did get a lot of people to buy Cyberpunk.
True.
It was a good game. You shut your goddamn mouth. It was a good game.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.